to each one of you who's watching this program, the season 2 of Get Set Grow, our show, the show by Young Mind Thinks. This show was an Instagram live session series in its first season. And उसमें इतना overwhelming response था, it was such a great success that because of each one of you, we had to make it a YouTube podcast. And here we are in its very first episode, talking to Dr. Swati Sharma, who is so many things. For the introduction of our guest of honor for today, guys, let me tell you, the topic for today is something हम सब relate करेंगे. सब relate करेंगे मतलब सब करेंगे. There is not one person जो इससे relate नहीं करेगा. So this topic is identity crisis and self-love for each one of us. Self-love, 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 identity crisis. I know बहुत hype में है ये words. एक point पे पकाने लग जाते हैं. But don't worry, just hang in here and you will start to see these two words in a different light. That is our guarantee to you. Right, Swati ma'am?
Absolutely right.
So let me just begin by giving a short introduction of Dr. Swati Sharma. She calls herself a humanist in the making. Sharma, she did her BA program in sociology and psychology from Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi, India. She is a gold medalist in applied clinical psychology, and after completing her master's in applied clinical psychology, she has been awarded PhD in psychosocial research from the Faculty of Behavioral and Social Sciences, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, India. She has worked as a counseling psychologist and an educator with prominent schools in North India. Currently, she is working as a PYP counselor with Prometheus School, Noida, India. Through her personal experiences and professional learning experiences, she realizes the significance of building and developing deep human connections and their role in healing emotional concerns. In her practice, she exhibits significant importance to the need for emotional expression in behavioral, social, moral, and psychological interventions for all students. Her area of interest lies in understanding the role of natural healing among students. Students के लिए healing की क्या जरूरत है? बिल्कुल जरूरत है. ये हमें आज पता चलेगा क्यों है. Natural healing among students through unconventional therapy. Continuing her journey to learn and explore more about her passions in the realm of human behavior, she desires to equip herself with therapeutic techniques of unconventional therapies and bring them to practice for the betterment of students. Wow, bio was something which told me so much more about you, Swati ma'am. And why do I say this, guys? Because I have known Swati ma'am for a couple of years now. I have known her since 2020. Okay. And मुझे ये सब बिल्कुल भी नहीं पता था. ये जो मैंने पढ़ा ना, just in front of you guys for the very first time. मैंने rehearsal भी नहीं की. एकदम तुम्हारे सामने मैंने ये पढ़ा है, And मैं खुद शॉक होकर पढ़ रही थी. And you could have sensed that in the cadence of my voice. We go on and give the stage to Swati ma'am. I'll quickly tell you guys कि मेरा क्या relation है उनके साथ. So it started as a student-teacher bond. And later it converted into a guide, mentor, and a mentee bond. And this is one bond which I'm so grateful for. There are few people in your life. There are few people who come into your life for a very short span of time. But the impression which they make, the impression which they leave, you can't just rub it off from your memory or from your life. And when you look back, you realize कि ये इंसान ने कितना contribute किया आपकी life में. And you would always want to hold on to this person and their wisdom. So Swati ma'am is one such person for me. And with that, ma'am, I just want to thank you once again for being our guest of honor for today. And we give the stage to you to just share your journey with us.
My God, this is some welcome, I must say. I'm so humble. Thank you so much. And everyone who's watching, to have you, just having a listening ear. I think I'm very, very grateful as always, even if somebody listens, in such a busy life as today, nobody has the time to listen. So listening is something which really matters to me, and it's of utmost significance to me. And secondly, Ashika, thanks so much for this beautiful, beautiful introduction. Though I just would like to call myself a very, very passionate learner of human behavior and psychology, and that's something that I would like to take till the very end of my journey of life with me. I would not really call myself any Dr. Swati Sharma, this, that, because that's what I want to remain always, and that is a student of psychology. And just learn, 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 and learn, and just learn to contribute, for my best to, and just provide the best of my services for my students, for anybody who needs healing, because there's so much that we go through us, within ourselves when we are healing other people also, and with everything that we come across changes us in very, very significant ways. So just as we are important in the healing of others, others are equally important, the society is equally important in our healing and our journeys. So everybody who's listening to me today, thank you so much. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart to be willing to listen, on something which is, I think, something extremely important that one needs to discuss and one needs to hear about, because this is something which is the most ignored in daily life.
Yes. So true. Very,
So,
very true.
so today I'm all yours, and let me know where to begin from, and what is it that you want to know, Ashika?
There is so much we want to know, and okay, so the place where I am asking my own questions, it is going to be, this time duration is going to be really short, because there are some very, very general questions amongst youngsters which they might ask, which they might not ask. I have a list of those questions, and we will be focusing more on those questions which the entire youth of the country really wants to know and wants to get sorted with. But to begin with, let's begin with your journey. Where did it all start? Because at your time, I don't know if psychology was a very, very preferred career or not. Today, though, today there is an awareness about psychology and coaching in all of these careers. So, where did you begin? What was your motivation? And
So I think I'd like to begin with grade 8. I was a person who was everywhere in school. I was in creative writing, I was in drama, dancing, sports, excellent in all areas, and very social, love to make friends, very bubbly, jumping around here and there in school. I remember all my musicals very well. I remember my rehearsal times very well. And more than my performances, it's the rehearsal time that I miss from school, because those days when it used to get dark and you're still in school, you're preparing your scenes. I mean, these are the glimpses. When I'm talking to you, I'm realizing that this is the closest to my heart, and that is why it stands first in talking about it. So there was this one time that I read an article. I was in grade 8, and I just read the word psychology first time. And there was an article of, I think, American Psychiatric Association, and they were talking something about the mind. There was very, very little to understand what it could exactly be, but the mind stayed on my heart for a long time. And then I had a very, very different journey that really changed my life forever. So from this very confident girl, when I came to grade 9, my mathematics was horrible. And when I say horrible, it was so horrible that I needed my fingers to count. Okay, and we all know that what happens when we come in grade 9, right? How difficult maths becomes. It really becomes very hard, and all those linear equations and this, that, and everything was just blowing away, right across my mind. And physics 0, chemistry 2, mathematics 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. And I just could not understand, despite of working so hard, because my sheets used to finish, attempting and trying to solve those equations and problems, but I could not ever get an answer. So I started really, went into a phase of questioning myself as to what exactly is really happening. And when I'm working so hard and I'm consistently regularly practicing at home, why is it that I'm not able to do this? And one time, two times, three times, and you get frustrated. You get very frustrated when you're making attempts, but at that point of time, in that kind of a age, you don't realize that this is not the end of the world, and your brain is not wired for everything. I also could not understand that. And then that reached to my teachers calling me to the board and asking me to solve certain sums. And I used to really feel bad about it, that when they know that I don't know the answer, and when they know that I can't do this, why are they calling me to the board? For what? For me to do this publicly? For me to do this in front of everyone that I don't know this? This kept on going on, and it was not so funny anymore. I started hiding. I started going into depression, severe depression. I started coming home with a very, very negative mind state, where I used to tell my mom that, listen, I don't think it's working, and all areas of my life, everything just went away. My dancing went away, my art went away, my creativity went away. So all the subjects that I was excelling in also, from 70 to 80, I saw a decline of average. I could not make it to 10th because I got 33. And in my school, even though it's a passing grade in, in CBSE, my school did not, decide to promote me to grade 10 just because I got 33 in mathematics. I am not going to name my school at a public platform, but this was the decision by the school. So here's the conversation that my mom and dad had, where my dad said, it's okay, let her repeat 1 year, even if this goes, it's fine, let her repeat. She's going to have her basic intact, and she's going to go to grade 10. And my mom, I remember very, very firmly being very clear about it, that there's no way on this planet that she's repeating grade 10, because I don't think that repetition is required, because she's very good in other areas. She doesn't need to repeat 10th. She's going to another school where she will be appearing as private candidate, and she's going to appear for her examinations, and then she's going to decide what she wants to do ahead. But she is not repeating grade 9. My mom took a very strong decision. Now those days I still remember, it was difficult again. The whole 10th period was very, very difficult. All students used to go to a center. For me, the center was something else. I was from a very good school. I came down to a very mediocre school. So there was a lot of verbal bullying. There was a lot of judgments, because I had a certain way to dress up. I had a certain way to talk, which was not in that school, because the crowd was different, and there was a lot of different between me and other students over there, and I was highly misunderstood. Just by the way I conducted myself, just for that. But then, standing in the balcony, seeing other people go to school, and I'm sitting here because I have to go and appear as a private candidate. Teachers are saying some things which are very mean to me, etc., etc., etc. Grade 11, psychology happened. So finally, I'm back to that thought that I had in grade 8. And oh boy, what a change. And just from the very moment I held the book for the first time, I knew what I have to be. And I am very fortunate that I was not among those students who had to make a huge list of what they wanted to do, because I was very clear that I am going to be a doctor, and I'm going to be a researcher, and I'm going to be a social scientist, and I'm going to be a counselor, and I'm going to be a psychologist. I was very clear about it. And all my focus went into my academics. There was a graph which just kept on increasing, with the years. Every year it just went on going higher and higher and higher. So I was among top 3 in my school. 11th, my dad asked me, do you want to go back to that school? Which I used to say, oh my god, where did you people put me, because I'm so different from them, and what have you done to my life? You know how we teenagers give tantrums to our parents? It was just
Yes.
like that. And it was the same Swati who said, nothing doing, this is my school, and now this is it. Wherever I am going to carry on with this. This is no alteration on my path. I'm not having it, and I'm very clear about what I wanted to do. Then another struggle came. During those days, I was also associated with the dance institute where I was an assistant dance instructor. So my schedule was such that after school, I used to carry a kid bag to my dance institute, and that those days I was preparing now for grade 12, and my board exams are again about to approach. And because of my workout schedule, I'm reaching at 10, 11, home. So now this is a conversation again my mom had with me. So now, you decide, darling, you want to become a dancer or you want to become a psychologist. What do you want to be? Because if you're getting so tired every day physically, it's not really feasible for you to contribute to your academics, because you really
Yes.
have to, if you're pursuing an academic career, you really have to give those many hours to your studies. I say this is not even a question on my mind. Of course, psychology. Forget about dancing and everything. I completed my last show, and after that, I was completely devoted back to psychology. I came to Kamala Nehru College because I wanted to have a collectivist and individualistic perspective. It was a conscious decision to have both sociology and psychology. But life happens. In 2012, my dad met with an accident. So he came under a bus, and his leg was about to be amputated. It was a very serious accident, and it took about 6, 7 years for his injuries to be fine. Now, we were just four people in the house. It was just me, my mom, my little sister, and she was also studying in school back then, the same school that I came from. And I was in my second year when dad's accident happened. Now, mom had no support, so it was very, very big turmoil for the entire family. Now I am wondering that how on earth is this going to work, because I really need to study hard for what I want to do, and hospital mein padna is very, very difficult. And those days I used to be studying in the hospitals. I used to be doing all things for my mom and dad in the hospitals. After the hospitals, I used to go to events to earn little money, because I could not see my mom alone doing everything, because every time, every day was a struggle for us. So 40,000, 50,000. My dad was admitted in the Ames Trauma Center, and there's this fac machine which costs a lot. So per day you give that kind of money. So we're not billionaires that every time you're going to have that flow of money. But
Yes.
we survived that. I studied in hospitals. I did that. I started preparing for my masters. While preparing for my masters, I completed my masters. Somehow, dad also got up. His leg, though he was disabled, but he's also a very strong person. So he did work very hard to take care of himself. He stood on his 2 feet. But life again happened when I finally enrolled myself for PhD, and this time my mom passed away. So you see, life is going to happen. Life does not care if you're coming with your
And
own.
and she was your
Yeah,
biggest support system. That is what I gleaned from your entire journey. And she,
of course, it's her. It's totally her. I don't even feel like it's such a vacuum. Honestly speaking, on a public platform, something so personal, but it's a vacuum that you can never fill, never ever fill. And the person who is behind it did not get to see you through that journey. That's the hardest part of my journey. But and those days are very difficult because I chose a very difficult research design. I'm an ethnographist also. So ethnography means that you write your observations manually. You go to that setting and you become like a sensory tool for yourself and you jot down your experiences as case studies. There were about 200 slum women that I had interviewed, and I had gone to the slum and had derived data manually without any team, without any support. And it took me about 5 years. I was told a lot in my faculty that don't go for something that is not feasible for you. You are alone, you're this, you're that, you'll not be able to do this. It's not a piece of cake that it's going to be so easy for you. And but I just said, see, ever since I know myself, this is my dream. So there's no compromise I'm doing on my quality of education, right? So I remember I used to tell my colleague that time, see, I don't even have a book of ethnography. How am I going to study it? And I remember that book costed about $2,000, and I was earning about 30,000 that time. I still did not could afford the book because there were so many expenses I had to meet. I had my sister's education, I had a rent to pay, I had my father's medical expenses. I had to take care of myself, but I collected the money. I started reading a lot of ethnographies in the world. I started reading about a lot of ethnographies in the world. I started seeing how ethnographies are written. And I did not wait for the book. However, I was saving for the book. One day I was able to buy the book, but by then I got a fair idea as to how do I write ethnography. So I wrote it. After 5 years, 2019, finally I was awarded with my doctorate. After all that that I had gone through. But I realized something when I was just about to go on the stage to have my degree finally. And I just thought that, it's so superficial, the targets that we keep for ourselves. I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be a PhD, I want to be. Back then, I did not, when I had decided, I never knew that, my dreams are going to be coming with the price of this kind, where I'm going to see so much and God is really going to test me. I have pride and center. And oh boy, he has, and he still is, in his own way. But I think he's my friend also, and I know that you get selected. You're always selected by God to do certain things and have certain things done.
Yes.
Because he believes in you. And I take it in a very positive way. I do not remember my mom or I do not remember her death to be a very negative experience in my life, because I'm so connected to her in spirit that every single breath I take is her. And people have started not telling me that I've even started looking like her. Ever since
the biggest compliment a daughter can get, perhaps.
So in my articles, because I remember my first research article got published in front of her when she was alive, and my God, that happens. I've never seen anybody get so happy when I write. But whenever I write, I remember her, and whatever I do, whether anybody's happy for me or not, and this I'm saying bluntly on a public platform, it really doesn't matter to me, because I know there's someone smiling up there. Every time I'm presenting, I am doing research and I'm doing something that, makes her happy and her smile. So I think it's the footprints that she has left behind, and I would like to leave that league ahead for myself. When I go away, I know my mom is going to stay alive in the literature that I leave behind. That's my way of keeping her alive. So that's a glimpse of my little journey, Ashika. And I see that you're crying. Oh my God.
I mean, who would not get emotional after listening to you? The way you described your entire journey, I'm so sorry. Yeah, the way you've described your entire journey, and the way the calmness you have, the resilience you have had throughout your journey, and the way you took every setback, and these were not normal setbacks. It is not normal for a teenager to drop out of school and appear as a private candidate, get bullied, and dodge all the bullets which are going on, and still put your head down and focus on the one thing you're doing, the one dream you're clinging on to. And when you're finally going to achieve that dream, lose the person who's the only person who was all yours in the process.
Yeah.
But when you look back, and I see this on your face, and I have seen this in my previous dealings with you, that when you look back, you see that you've left a legacy, as you just said. And when you said that you're going to keep your mom alive in the literature which you leave behind even after you go, oh God, this is something, it is so very difficult for any of us to reach.
That purity, I don't think any other relationship can give you. You know,
Yes.
that's your mom, for God's sake. It's the universe to the child. It's the entire universe. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure that she's looking at me and she's feeling that okay, she's doing her thing, and that's all that I need for this lifetime.
Yes.
And I hope to see her, you know, in the next one and the next one and the next one, because I honestly do not like to, I would not like to change anything that happened to me, because I would not be myself had it not happened to me.
Yes,
So-
yes. That is so true. That is so true. And for your mom, definitely she's up there looking at you, smiling at you, feeling so, so, so proud. Beautiful note. Let's go on. Let's move ahead. Now, the first question is, what is self-love according to you, ma'am?
Self-love, according to me, is acknowledging your inner beauty every single day. So the world might, you know, look in a certain way to you on several occasions. People might say your perceptions about yourself, despite your existing realities, must never change. So when you know that your inside is clean, you have got to you have to hang in there for yourself. And that is what self-love is. That you have to acknowledge your beauty every single day. And even in your difficult times, please keep reminding yourself of all the good things about yourself. And don't be so self-critical, I'd say. And do not be critical, because it's not going to be easy, trust me. Coming from where I'm coming, I can tell you that it's never going to be easy. There are going to be a lot of challenges. God is and the world is going to be out there to test you, break you, divert you. You will get lost, but come back again because you love yourself. So, just very simply, if I have to put it, please acknowledge your inner beauties, your qualities, even in the difficult times, remember them. And these are the things that are going to take you forward, because no other person is coming and telling you that. You have to remind yourself this every single day. I hope that I have answered that question.
You
Pretty
answered it
fast.
perfectly, and that was all we needed, a crisp answer, which is that is why I said acknowledging your inner beauty on a daily basis, and even while you're going through the rough phase. Moving on to the next question, ma'am. How to draw that line between self-love and narcissism? What a question.
Okay, so it's a very beautiful question. I'll first say that. I love this question.
Yes.
How do you draw the line is that a person who's a narcissist is not receptive to other people's opinions about themselves. Loving yourself does not mean that. If you really love yourself, you would like to know what others say about you, so that you can develop, so that you can improve yourself in the areas that you need support, so that you are very open to other people's perspectives, because we are not just solo people. We are living in a society, and society is a reflection of ourselves, and we are a reflection of society. You can't take anything away from the society or from yourself. It's all related, entangled. So a narcissist would never accept other people's perspectives. But if you love yourself, you're going to be the first one to very humbly ask, is there something that I could do differently? That humility to mankind, and that trust and faith that not everybody is out there running on me for all the negative things in the world. Please believe that if there are bad people in the world, there are also good people who are going to meet you at every phase of your life and who are going to support you. So you have to have an eye to find your soul tribe and accept what they have to say to you, because it's going to be very, very integral for your own journey and development.
That's correct. I just had one question in relation to your answer, ma'am. So, can we also say that when you're a narcissist, because you mentioned that a narcissist is never very receptive of other people's perspectives, right? And they're not always open to improving their own selves. So,
Not
can
at
we
all.
also
It's
say
more
that?
of dictating life
Uh,
and thoughts and actions. A person who is in self love can love themselves, but I think that understanding of I am not the master of everything, I need to learn. Only then you can love yourself. If you are
yes.
that cautious of your growth, only then self love will come to you. If you are going to be this person who's blocking everything out, how are you going to improve? How are you going to learn? That's the
That
question.
is, yes, yes, yes. That is a lovely question. And guys, this is one question to each one of you. Ponder on this. So, are you a self lover or are you a narcissist? This is something we all need to ponder on. And the question which you raised, ma'am, that if you're blocking everything out, how are you going to grow? Are you really cautious for your growth as a self lover? A very important question, which all of us need to ponder on. And if you know the answer to this question, then just type it in the comment section below. And we'll read your answers to it if you're comfortable with typing it in the comment section. But yeah, do ponder on it, think it over. My question was, ma'am, that can we say that a narcissist also has the victim mentality, like victimizing their own selves again and again? Because they're just
Again,
blocking out everyone's perspective.
I will not again use the term victimizing, but I will use the term too indulged in oneself. But if you are in your growth, if you are in a phase of development, you are expanding and contracting like that. So there are times you will go out in the world, explore, learn, come back, internalize those values, you know revise it for you, modify it, accommodate your things accordingly. But narcissist would not do that expanding business. It's too indulged, it's too self occupied, it's too preoccupied with one's own thoughts, which are very repetitive in nature, because you are not welcoming to the perspective. If you're not welcoming perspective, then like I just said, there is no scope of growth. So I will not use a negative terminology for this, but definitely that expansion of ideas is not there. So there's a lot of distortion in thoughts. When there's distortion in thoughts, there cannot be growth, because you misinterpret realities, right? Because that's where the victim mentality, like you said, is coming from. Because I'm just repeating things over and over again in my mind. Why am I repeating? Because I'm not hearing other people out. If I'm not going to have enough to tell myself brain needs food, how does your brain get food? By reading, through meeting other people, through welcoming perspectives, to being open to ideas. Person who is too indulged, too involved in oneself, would not expand beyond his own experiences. So that's the difference.
That is so apt. Yeah, now it is very, very clear, and I'm sure it's very clear for our audience as well. The difference between a narcissist and a self lover. So, the main pointers to note from this answer, and I'm just paraphrasing it for you guys so that it sticks here, it hooks here in your mind. Okay, it is just that one, when you're a self-lover, you're very welcoming of others' perspectives, you're interested in your own improvement as a person, you have this humility to acknowledge that you're not the master of everything, you're very cautious of your growth, and that is why you want this expansion of ideas. Narcissist is not that. You don't want expansion of ideas, you're blocking out other people's perspectives, and you're repeating the same things to yourself again and again, and that way you lead a dry life. Too indulged in yourself.
It's too boring. Too boring.
It is. It is. So, moving on to the next question, ma'am. Does self love mean isolation?
No, absolutely
you
not.
just,
Like I just I just
Yeah.
answered the question. It's more involvement with life. It's more involvement with spirituality. It's more involvement with people, with society. It's like flowing like water, And when
Yes.
you flow like water, what is the property of water? It takes any shape, any form. It imbibes a lot of things within itself. Self love is something like that. So there's no limit to it, it's infinity. And it's infinity because there's so much, so much, so much that you cannot measure, right? So, how can it be in isolation? It can never be in isolation. And it's never going to make you isolated. It's only get you going to get you more closer to God, to yourself, to your authentic self. And the closer you are to your real self, the more closer you are to society at large, because then you are a person who's going to understand responsibilities beyond yourself for others. And that's how you learn in life, because you understand the impact that your actions are going to have on a larger community. So you will not get indulged into anything that you know it's not going to have a long term perspective, it's not going to have a long term gain. So self love can never be in isolation. Self love can take you places for your society, for yourself, if you know how to use that self love optimally.
Wow. Again, a sentence to carry. Everyone, self-love can never be isolation. It is going to take you to places for yourself, for the society. And primarily, self-love is more and more involvement with life at a deeper level, and that gets deeper. So, beautiful answer once again, ma'am. I'll quickly move on to the next question, so that our audience is not like धीरे धीरे चल रहा है, ठीक है? We are fast people, everyone. Next, does self-love really help in identity crisis?
Absolutely. It helps. I remember standing in front of the mirror and calling myself, I'm going to be the Miss World 2020. Okay, I did not be the Miss World, but I became something. So, self love helps you draft a blueprint as to possibly holding hands at particular places in your life and taking you through that journey. So, like I said, why is it important to be having self love is that you recognize your inner qualities and you hold them tightly and you start moving and progressing beyond in life. So, that is why it is so relevant. So, that's why it's so important.
Very true.
Is that
Yes, absolutely. Can you just repeat the last line, holding on your inner qualities and then taking it beyond? That, yeah.
That this part is like, if you just understand it, self love gives you that blueprint. When you're going to know your authentic self properly, it's going to drop in bits and pieces here and there. And okay, this is something I like, this is my roadmap. Okay, this works, this works, this works. And somehow, because all those things are emerging from your inner self, it's going to take you towards where you actually unconsciously want to be. Because everything you are telling, everything is coming out from your real self. So even if you do not know at a very young age that what is it that keeps yapping in my brain and I want to do this, I want to do that, at least you have a blueprint. Because life is already very uncertain in your teenage, very uncertain. You have no idea where you're going, but at least that blueprint helps. Okay, maybe this, if not this, maybe this. And later, after some time, some years, you recollect, okay, I've been doing this means I am up for this. That reflection becomes easier. That is again through self-love.
Wow. Perfect. That was the perfect answer. And I don't even need to paraphrase now, because every word which ma'am is saying, it is so crypt and concise, it is sticking to our heads. The one thing which I really want you to remember still from this answer is that blueprint. Remember the word blueprint and remember how it is connected to authenticity. Just remember these two words and it is going to be there with you forever. Is it not, ma'am?
Of course it will. I mean, just close your eyes and ask yourself, wherever you are, is this something I really want to do? at every part of your life. Just this little practice before you take any decision. If you have one doubt that I'm not going to do this, or this will happen, or that, if you're giving yourself excuses onto something, it's not your part to take. Because if you're certain about it, you will just do it. You're not going to doubt yourself. There's no doubt that's going to come to your mind. So if you are having doubts, if you're making excuses, if you're running from certain things, please know that you're not up for it and leave it.
That is very, very
There should
true.
not be any doubt. There should not be any doubt. You should just jump into it, right? Because if you
Yes.
want it so much, then hell with the doubts. And if there are doubts which are more prominent than what you want to do, then you know your answer.
Your dreams should be bigger than your doubts.
Yeah.
Wow. Remember this, everyone. Every word being spoken in today's live session is golden. It is pure gold. पूरा सुने बिना मत जाना, मैं पहले ही बता रही हूँ. You're going to get more and more, and towards the end we're going to have some fun. So thank you so much for that beautiful and wonderful answer, ma'am. It was lovely. And moving on to the next question. Peer pressure is one of the major cause of identity crisis. So how do I overcome it?
Again, my answer to this is authenticity of yourself. You're not born in the world to be in someone else's color. You are born in the world so that you spread your colors and introduce yourself to the world. Yeah? You're not
Yes.
here to paint someone else's canvas. You're not. You can be inspiring other people for their artwork, but you're here to create your own. So I know it's not going to be easy, again, what I'm saying, but let them call you mad, let them call you crazy, let them not understand your perspective, because there are some people who will absolutely understand what you're trying to say. So you will eventually find those people in your life who are going to support you for who you really are. And you don't have to worry about the ones who are not, because maybe your wavelength is not with them. But after few years, when you will find real friends, I don't even call my friends friends. I think it's soul tribe. Either it's that or it's nothing. Yeah.
Yes.
So these are people who are, and you have to really find these people. This is a tough job. This is a very tough job. You have got to find these people. Who are these people who are supporting you for who you are, what you want to be, whether it's your teacher, whether it's your probably friend, your relative, your cousin. Who is that one person who is seeing me for who I am? Those are your people. Because even in friendship, if people are not seeing who you are, then I'm very sorry. It's not friendship. Then you need a reflection. I'm very sorry, but I have to be honest here.
Yes. I realized this of lately too. I mean, I so connected with you when you said that you at the end of the day find your tribe, your kind of friends. And this last line, it hit me. I think it hit all of us. That if they don't see who you are, you really need a reflection of who they are. And if you are just allotting one name of friendship to that relation just for the sake of calling it a friendship, then it's not worth it.
See, sooner or later, it's going to fade away if it's not real, right? Why are you waiting for 10, 15 years of fakeness? Just get it done with. 15 years of fake negativity for what? Earlier these friendships used to be a source of happiness. But today, friendships are source of stress for youngsters. Research says that. I'm not saying that. People are highly stressed with their interpersonal relationships, which used to be a source of happiness. Anything that makes you at stress, at unease, it's not for you. Please, it's a humble request. Identify how your body feels with certain people. It's going to tell you if it's comfortable or not. It's going to give you an alarm. It's going to make your muscles tensed. It's going to make your hands and legs stiff. Please acknowledge this. Please acknowledge this about your body. And when you're feeling in this way with certain people, please understand you're not comfortable. It's a very unconscious way for your body to tell you that you're not comfortable. So realize it and please step back. Even if you have to be alone for a couple of years, it really doesn't matter. At least you will be in positivity towards your growth and your real path. And that is what really matters. And unless you're not mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, emotionally healthy, you're never going to find those real people who are your actual soul tribe. To find them, you have to be the best version of yourself. So you see, everything is related with each other. If you're not going to be this authentic self that I'm over and over emphasizing on, nothing is going to work out for you. Nothing at all. You have to every road that goes anywhere else is always linked with your inner self first. So you have to understand, if you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable. So please acknowledge this if your body is telling you. That's my only advice to all the youngsters who are watching me right now.
Wow, this is something we really need to note, guys. That please acknowledge the signals which your body is giving you with certain people, how your body is reacting. Usually, okay, I'll just ask you this question now. It is from my side. You just mentioned about the way your body reacts. Usually, what we do is we tend to romanticize the palpitation of our heart. Okay, with infatuation. So, is that true? Is that true, or is it like something which is fearful?
You know, all these Mills and Boons novels have done no good to this generation, including me. You know, I used to believe in that fantasy world myself, but that person, whether it's your friend, boyfriend, that relationship, we all have been through that. Another person, I'll explain this in a deeper way. You're standing in the middle. You are a soul with a mind in your physical reality, and all other people are your reflection. They all are here to reflect you. In that process, if you find someone who's not reflecting growth, or at least leading you to that path, is not for you. And in all your relationships, this is one thing that you must pay attention to very deeply. That is this fight, is this argument, is this discussion related with my growth or this person's am I contributing to this person's growth, or is this person contributing to my growth? Please have meaningful discussions to start with. Do not talk things that have no life value to it. If you are going to get conscious of your conversations, you're going to be a very changed person very soon, and you're going to block all the negative energy much earlier than it reaches your mind. The more conscious you are of the conversations you're having with others, the better it is for your relationships, because those are reflections which are going to tell you whether this is something that I can take long term or not. Is this person relating with my growth or not? So relationships are supposed to be the primary source of your happiness and growth. How can you take this for granted? For God's sake, be alone, be alone. But do not let things just easily flow. Don't accept everything and anything. It's very poor spiritual hygiene to do that. It's very bad for the brain. So you have to know where, what, how much you want to block. Because if you are not going to do that, then all the effort is just going to go down the drain to become a better person.
Today's conversation is absolute enlightenment. Period. There's nothing more I have to say. Every word you spoke, we related with it. And my key takeaway from this particular answer of yours is simply that please don't take everything that comes your way. Understand things analyze, and ultimately, you know, be conscious of your conversations with others. So, this is something we are going to carry for life. For life, because, and ultimately, what you said, that relationships, they are primary source of your growth and happiness, and if they're not giving you that, you really need to check on them.
Also, I'd like to mention, every day is not going to be happy. I'm not saying that you will not fight, but it has to be, the overall perspective, or the overall things that you do, or the conversations you're having, or the fights that you're having. It has to be for the betterment. Please let it not be toxic. Let it not be stupid. Let it not be out of context. Let it not be irrelevant or unreasonable. Right? And only take responsibility for your actions. Please do not carry the burden of the world on your shoulders. I mean, I've done that and I've learned from that. Others are others. You are yourself. Please have that boundary very, very clear. You don't have to carry the burden for other people's responsibilities. Please stop doing that. And if somebody's made a mistake, please let them know that, dude, you've done something wrong here. I didn't like it. It's simple. Just that 1 minute conversation. If you have done something wrong, go apologize. If there is a misunderstanding, clear it out. Even if you don't want to talk to another person after that, that's fine, absolutely fine. But do not carry things with you. That's really very sad if you do that for your mental health and your spiritual health. Stop carrying things with you. Please put them down and move on fresh. And if it's too heavy to carry, then please get away with it. That's my answer to this question.
Perfect. Don't carry things with you. I repeat it to myself, to everyone who's watching this video. What ma'am just said, don't carry things with you. And if they're too heavy, then please just drop them. Drop the weight. If they're
it's not yours, it's not for you to carry. Simple. Please let them carry their bags. You please carry your bag. That's it.
Yes. That was so lovely again. I mean, I can't stop, but we'll have to end with the questions here. There are more questions, but unfortunately, we don't have that much time, ma'am. Now we'll just move on to the last and the fun part of this session. It is going to be really, really short, the shortest perhaps.
And it's going to be the most embarrassing of all, because I'm so bad at these things.
Okay. But you'll have to do it for us. So there is a tongue twister. There is a tongue twister, and you have to repeat this phrase for 10 times. Yeah, you have to repeat it 10 times.
Oh my god. No. 10 times is so much.
It's a very simple phrase. 10 times.
For you, maybe?
No. For you also, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm sure about it.
Let's see.
You have to repeat
Let's see about that.
Yeah, you have to repeat it 10 times in a row without stopping it, very fast. Okay?
Not okay.
But you'll have to do it.
I'll try.
Yes.
I can try.
Yeah, we know you are very, very good when it comes to trying and putting in the efforts. You're a pro with it. And the phrase is 11 benevolent elephants.
11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. Oh my god, this is so hard. 11 benevolent elephants. I'm not going to say it fast, okay? I'm going to say it slow. Can I act?
Yes, you can, but then just say it for 5 times, because you also got to give us the last message for the day before we leave, and the meeting won't let us stay for more than 5 minutes now.
Okay. 11 benevolent elephants, 11 benevolent elephants, 11 benevolent elephants, 11 benevolent elephants. I said it 4 times.
Yeah.
Okay, one more to go?
Yeah, and you can act here.
11 benevolent elephants.
Ooh.
Yes, I did the last one properly. Only the last one I did properly. See, always the last thing I do properly. The final product I give somehow.
Yeah. But you enjoyed the process, just as you taught us in this session how to enjoy the process, go through the process, and enjoy the journey. So you enjoyed this process as well.
Of course. I mean, thanks for having me here, Yashika.
And give the final message to the youngsters who are watching this, who have watched it till the end, in one line.
When I was sitting in my mom's office nearly 25 years ago, okay? Let the leafy light fall from the tree. Imagine the birds flying high and free. The wonderful scene which makes me keen to look at the things which are never seen. May I keep singing my soul journey till the very end, the very end, the very end. If that sums up what I really mean, and I think I'm going to leave this to your interpretations. I'm going to leave this to you to interpret what I really wanted to say, because it's your journeys in the end, right? And what sense you want to make of what I said. Being a psychologist, I know it's extremely subjective in nature, but yes, one thing I would like to say is just keep going. There is going to be a way, there will be a way, and you will find it. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe day after, maybe 5 years later, and you're not going to be alone, because there's a power, there's a supreme power which is taking care of you, and it's not just your parents. So believe in that. Even before the world existed, this has been there around, and we all have destinies and we will meet them, but we have to work hard. We will have to connect the dots. So never be afraid of that. Throw yourself out there. Be very true to yourself, because when you're true to yourself, you're true to, God automatically. So when you're true, you're going to be most connected with your real life experiences, and those experiences will take you forward in life. And it's a very sacred process, it's a very pure and a spiritual process that you're going to be a part of. So just hang in there and keep going, and just take little breaks. Whenever you think, oh my god, I'm so worked out, go pamper yourself. I've done that. I've really had fun. Whenever I used to get my salary, I used to pick a day. I used to go eat whatever I want to eat, sit in the parlor, groom myself, be with myself. Those things are required, because this journey is very long, and you need to take breaks. So enjoy that, even if it's for 10 minutes. Get up again, hold your bag, and go on. Then again, take a break. Wherever you are tired, take breaks, but don't stop.
Jewels which we are going to wear in our hearts forever and ever and ever. And thank you so much once again, ma'am. Guys, till then, comment below your key takeaways from this session, and we are going to meet in the next episode of Get Set Grow. Till then, keep growing, and comment below your key takeaways. Bye there, and thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us once again.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being around. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.